All right, welcome to Jack Dotson's Racing Insider News this week. We got Jack and me, and why are you here?
Starting to be
Hold on. We got something here for you. All right, now that's much better. Let's go. Now we got that out of the way. What?
So
You're much better with the tape over your mouth.
So we have Riley Music. We have Riley Music with us, who just announced a minute ago to us that he was becoming Scott Allen's driving coach.
I don't know if he wants to take credit for that.
Well, not right now because there ain't nothing to take credit for right now.
Let's go through our sponsors. We got to thank our sponsors. We got Langley Speedway, Performance Plus Motor Oil, Safety Clean, Black Asset Apparel. If you need some custom-made shirts, they make one-off shirts. NC811, Call Before You Dig. MPM Marketing, if you need somebody to handle your social media there. Ben, you got this duct tape over your mouth, you probably can use them. Factory Canopies, if you need a canopy for over your car. They are made out of some really nice, I mean, that's nice right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pepsi's to drink. Bondurant Brothers Distillery. We got Black Acid in here twice.
Yeah, that's in there twice.
And our new sponsor, can't thank those guys enough, GAC Enterprise. And I forgot exactly what GAC stands for. Oh, I might need to go back here and take that off. But that's our sponsors. Can you help? Can you help him? Look, he's still struggling.
This crazy thing has been on.
Trying to turn the volume down.
I see why Scott calls you names. Anyway, so let's get it. This is our driver of the week from last week. So congratulations on being driver of the week.
Thank you.
I don't know what you get, but you're still.
I got
You get a hard time.
You want a sticker?
Yeah.
Oh, I can get you a sticker. I mean, all you get.
Look.
Yeah, I need probably 6 of them. No, 4. Need 2 for each car.
You got 2 cars, and Scott's having a hard time getting one running. Keep on talking. I'm taking care.
I don't know how he's getting stickers. I still ain't got none on my car. That might.
You had driver of the week on your car for a whole season.
I did, and that shit didn't help me none.
Yeah.
Because everybody knew the deal. All right, I took care of you. Driver of the week.
Thank you.
Got you straight. Scott, you get yours in a few minutes. You're not driver of the week. All right, let's talk some news real quick. Like the Cup race. William Byron got his first win in the Cup Series.
And knocked Jimmy Johnson out. Well, I guess Jimmy Johnson knocked himself out in that wreck, but
I mean, he did a heck of a job. You see him come through that three wide and drove right.
He was in for a while. I mean, it's kind of sad to see it's the last year and he doesn't make it in the chase.
That's unbelievable.
But, I mean, he hasn't really ran that well.
The Xfinity race, Justin Haley won. Thank goodness his teammates crashed out at the end of the race.
I mean, they were going to have a 1-2-3 finish.
Yeah, and the 2 teammates, Chastain, decided he wanted to pass.
I'm just waiting when Childress goes over and hires team manager over there and brings them over to Childress because they're taking their cars and they're winning with them. And Childress.
And how about the race and the wreck early in the race when all 4 Junior Motorsports cars were in the same wreck? Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, Junior had to sit there and watch it.
Yeah. Down at Gateway, they had the trucks there. Sheldon Creed got another win. I think that's 3 straight for him. What is it with these guys on all these races that they're winning back to back to back? Like this kid here done won 5 straight.
6
straight.
He don't need no help running his mouth, Jack.
6 straight. I mean, Anyway, we'll talk more about that in a minute. In the ARCA race, Ty Gibbs got the ARCA win. That's another one of those guys that's won a bunch of races back to back to back.
And I wonder when they're going to bring him up.
Well, his name's Gibbs, and I think that's going to happen soon. So,
yeah.
Down at Kingsport, another streak was continued.
Eight in a row.
8 in a row for Cress Van Dyke down at Kingsport. At Hickory, they ran the late models at Hickory. Josh Berry won both races, both late model races. Then they run at Southern National on Sunday, and Josh Berry won both races.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Down at Five Flags, the Alan Turner late models, Matt Craig got 2 wins in that division. See, everybody's winning 2 races. Scott can't even get
okay, the next 2 races is on.
Well, Scott, he has a streak.
It's like what? 5th?
I think how many races y'all run? How many
top
races?
5 every week, Jack.
Top 5 every week.
There's only 5 cars.
That's not what the stat sheet says.
4.
4 cars.
4.
At New Smyrna Speedway, they had the David Rogers late model. Stephen Nasi got the win. Here at Langley Speedway, the Cars Tour was here this past weekend. Lane Riggs got the win. The Virginia Racing Limiteds, or whatever they want to call it, Virginia Racing Division, Virginia Racers. Zach Lightfoot got his first win here.
Yeah, I heard he was whipping by 2/10 a lap.
And then the trucks.
Hey, they're the ones that posted it.
In the trucks, Louis, what's his name again? Louis? In the trucks?
Hasdera? I don't know. Podesta.
Because Derek's won the truck race.
That guy.
Super Streets, after going back to some stuff there, come to find out Colby Vance didn't win the Super Street race. Danny Harrell got the...
You got them pistons in your car?
No.
Did you help him work on the car?
No.
Okay. You got to blame you. So this week's driver of the week is Zach Lightfoot for his 5th win in a row. And so that's a big deal for him. And as I said before, we now have the driver of the month this past week. We'll have a driver of the month presentation Friday night at Kingsport Speedway for Crest Van Dyke. He is the driver of the month. So I'll be going
like on 8 wins in a row. I mean,
8 wins
every race so
He's
far.
got 9 total. He's got 8 straight. So, and they've even been bringing in every now and then. They bring another guy in try to beat him, and it ain't working so far. He just has the magic touch. He's kind of like Riley Music at Langley. Can you imagine a team of Riley Music and Danny Millard? They'd be the kings of Langley Speedway. Be the kings of Langley Speedway. So I think that would be a cool deal. Have them.
What's up, Eddie Clark?
Oh, Jesse Jones now.
I like what Robbie Parker said.
What? I don't know what he said. I can't see it.
Best part of the sponsor logo is it covered Jack's face.
You like that?
No. I felt like I needed to get some jokes off Scott onto you.
Why do you want to do that? Just
Because
how is a guy like you, who's a winner? I mean, you come out here and they pull them bandoleros out, and all I hear is Riley Music. Riley Music. Of course, now you got some trouble coming behind. Looks like Leah Painter's doing a pretty good job. And she gave you a run for your money a couple times up at Dominion.
Yeah.
So, and that last race I was at Dominion, I saw you race up there. You got turned around. Mm-hmm. They put you to the back, and you still come back and won the race.
That was a lucky night.
Was it luck?
It was a lot of luck. Just had a good enough car that night.
Did you move anybody out of the way?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Well, got turned by a lap car because went to the top. Thought I could get past both lap cars that were battling by the end of the backstretch. So I went to the top, and then he kept moving up the track to let us by on the bottom and just got into the left rear and put me in the marbles, and I spun. Big wreck off, too.
Yeah, I saw it. I was there.
And we had like 5 cars left. So got around the 28 real quickly, and then the Aaliyah and the 8 car got out front far, and me and the rookie Trey Williams, who runs out here, worked together, and then the 8 car dumped Aaliyah coming off 2. So that put me up to 2nd. And we went down into 3 going to get the white flag and moved him a touch, and then he got a little loose, so when we went down on the front stretch, I was able to get under him and get by him, and he ran me down on the flat going into 1, but I was able to get back on track and get back straight and come to a win.
This is awesome.
But who was spotting for you?
My grandfather.
Now, who do you like spotting for you the best? Because I know you got quite a few people to kind of spot for you.
Well,
Or you might not want to say.
I like Anthony. He's really technical with it. Granddad's really basic with it, but his spotting is really good. Him and Anthony are really some of the only two I'd let spot for me.
So
Now, who tells you what you're doing wrong while you're driving more than the other?
My father.
Does he?
Yeah, he watches it on Fan Choice, and as soon as I walk in the door, you're tight here, you need to loosen up the car.
wow.
First thing I walk in the door, don't even get good job. Just you're tight here, you need to fix that.
Well, I mean, you know, somebody paying the bills, you gotta do what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool deal. I mean, you know, and now you're trying to take on the job of being Scott Allen's driver coach.
That's gonna be a tough job.
It's going to be a miracle. They have 5 cars or 4 cars in the race.
Yeah.
So it'll be a miracle if you can do it. So while we're sitting here, I want to talk about this right here. We were presented with Riley Music T-shirts tonight. I appreciate that, Riley. Thank you very much. And he even signed it.
Not the best at signing stuff. But
Well, you better get used to it.
I hope.
You can do like my son did. He would fake it all the time. He'd be taking an old baseball card, and it may be like a Cal Ripken card, and he'll go Cal Ripken. I'm thinking, how in the world did he get that sign like that? But come find out he was doing it, but he was practicing, you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's cool. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Now, all these wins, 4 different tracks.
Mhm.
Which one of the tracks did you like the best?
Wake County.
That's a surprise. That wasn't even where I was listening. Thinking.
I love the Wake County. It's so-called the cistern track of Southern National. It's nothing like it. Maybe a little bit less banking, but kind of close to it. Track's a lot like Southside, but smaller.
Smaller
And
than
I thought,
Southside?
yeah, that place is unbelievably smaller than Southside. I don't know how, but it is, and they still somehow park haulers on the inside of the track.
Wow.
It is unbelievably small.
Oh, well, but now you done one there, Southern National, right?
Mhm.
Dominion and here.
Mhm.
That's unbelievable. You got more wins in a couple of weeks than Scott had races in.
In my career.
Yeah.
So how when you originally started, now I probably already asked you this, but I don't remember what the answer is. What originally got you started wanting to go racing? Were you playing some other sports or?
I was playing baseball when I first started, and I was running go-karts at Albemarle, Tri-County. Tri-County's down there by Southern National, Capital City in Brunswick. And we started at Albemarle, and well, what really made me want to start was my grandfather, because I heard about how much success he had that I wanted to try and carry it on. So I started racing, and then I was playing baseball at the same time, so I'd be really close to late to practice, and then somehow still come out with a trophy. There was nights I was skeptical that we weren't going to win, and we still won. But I quit baseball when I was down at Tri-County. I missed one of the all-star games to go race, and I got kicked off the team and never went back to baseball.
Jeez. I guess if you go do something you really like doing and they kick you off the team, you just forget that. That ain't worth it.
Yeah, I was going to play middle school ball, but then coronavirus happened and I wasn't able to do that.
So how's the coronavirus affected your racing this year?
Well, we had like 40 races planned to run between Shenandoah, here, Dominion, Wake County, go to Southern National once or twice, and maybe go to Charlotte. But then coronavirus made it to where we've only ran 12 so far. We would have been probably 15, 20 races in, maybe 30. and coronavirus affected that big time.
So you're not going to go to Shenandoah at all now, or?
We were going to go for the money race that they were going to have, and then, well, Langley was racing that same night, and it was either risk the championship and go up there and possibly wreck a car, or come down here, and then the money race got canceled to a regular race.
So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
So you stayed here.
Yeah.
That was a good deal. Now, I don't know if you want to announce anything about what's coming up, what you're going to be testing.
Well,
I saw you out here testing a car. Or I didn't see you. I heard that you were testing a car.
So what was that experience like?
Well, we're just going slow, trying to learn car control with them kind of cars, get it through the gears so we could make sure I was up.
Did you stall it out?
I made it off pit road the first time fine, and then they decided to stop me going into one, and it took me a couple times to get back off. But it was fun to drive my Uncle Doug's car. So
we're looking down the road at moving to something bigger, huh?
Mhm.
So that's cool, and you have one already, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us what your plans are with that.
Well, so we're going to get a bare chassis from Doug, and then we bought a car over the weekend, and it had a motor, transmission, everything in it besides horns, radiator, and front fenders and a nose. So the car's going to be good enough to start with, just practice with it, but we're going to build probably that bare chassis to race with.
So you go out there and spend a lot of time working on the car. How much time do you spend working on your cars now?
Probably we eat dinner probably 7:00. So I get out to the shop probably 8:00, 8:30, and then we work till 9:15, and we get the oil changed and everything else, scale it out. So we get it out the trailer Monday, probably work till Wednesday, load it up Friday.
And you probably worked on Brennan's car more than he has, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you spend a lot of time over there working on Brennan's car?
Yeah, I can't go anymore because I just started school today, but I was working on them a lot, trying to learn for when I start racing Unlimited.
Did you take any credit for the Hampton Heat win?
Not really. I didn't do as much work as they did on that car to get it out here and run like that.
What kind of things have you learned by working on Brennan's car?
Well, I've learned a lot, like changing gears. Didn't know how to do that. I was taking springs and shocks off, taking tires off. Brendan made me work to clean the car out, for sure.
Well, you're
He
small.
He didn't want to get in there.
You know, I heard stories about cleaning the car out.
Mm-hmm.
That you would get in the car to clean it out, and one time they found you asleep in the car.
I was never asleep in the car.
They didn't find you asleep in the car.
Mm-mm.
It's your story. You can tell it however you want.
I don't ever remember falling.
All right, when you go off with Brendan to these racetracks, you go off with Brendan, your grandfather race. Do you cut Brendan's steak for him? I mean, because we found out he can't cut his own steak.
No, I'll let his mom do that for him. I don't want to be.
I mean, he won the Hampton Heat, and he can't even cut his own steak.
I know.
And his mom was going to put a leash on him out here one time because she couldn't keep up with him.
I can believe it.
The dog, she was going to let the dog go free and put the leash on Brendan.
Being completely honest with you, I bet that dog could drive that race car better than that.
Oh, boy. You done opened the door now.
It's a nice thing he can't respond.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't see him in the comments yet.
but he will probably watch it later on and then he'll catch you down the road.
Yeah.
So you have to keep the grades up to keep racing, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
what is the rules? What if you get a B or a C, then you're out of the car?
C or below, I
You're
can't
out.
race. Yeah.
C or below?
Well, D or below.
D or okay. I was getting ready to say if you said C or below, I'd have never raced.
No.
Scott,
I've never even got a chance. So is school in person or are you doing online?
So I did online school, or not online. I did real life school last year, and when we went to coronavirus, I was
So shots fired.
So when the coronavirus happened, they did Google Classroom, which they put your work out and everything. And well, there's some classes I didn't even get work for, like my history class. There was nothing there. So then she finally called us to make sure I was doing it, and we said we don't have any of the work. Then we figured out we had PE, art, and everything else.
It didn't work for me either.
No. And I was just super delayed with it because I didn't have a teacher to talk to. My teacher never even talked to me. Probably my science teacher called my mom just to make sure I was doing it or turned in the work. My history teacher called to make sure I was doing it, and that was all I heard.
So, your mom makes sure you keep everything going with your homework and everything?
Yeah.
Is she a good teacher? I mean, can she help you out?
I don't know. We were doing some math this morning, and she got more wrong than me, I think.
Do you let her work on the car?
No.
Now, wait a minute. Now, look, the other week you come out and you told me I had to unload the car by myself. Mom just walked off. Then I go over and give your mom a hard time. She's like, you told her to leave.
So when I was unloading the car, she was a little bit in the way, not trying to be rude. So I said, just go off and do your own thing. And then I did everything else there myself. She helped load up a little bit, but I did everything else myself.
That's tough being a driver. I mean, we ain't supposed to have to do all that stuff.
I know. We're supposed to just be steering wheel holders.
Right. I mean.
But I have to do everything.
I feel you. I feel you.
But you know, the one thing you can't do is talk bad about your mom and expect to keep racing like you do.
I think she's just as bad.
I noticed you just completely forgot about your dad here.
Mm-hmm.
So does he help you with the race car a lot?
Well, when we're picking up motors, my grandfather acts like he's not strong enough to do it, but he's strong enough to do it. He just uses the wrong handwork. And so my dad or my mom will just pick it up and do it for him so he doesn't have to put him in the car. The other week, we changed the oil. He tightened up the oil plug too much. He could have broke a block. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. He just treats everybody like that.
Man, you done already tonight. You done threw your mom under the bus and she ain't too bright. Your dad, he can't tighten an oil plug up.
He's too strong. He goes to the gym.
Brendan.
No. You see him backing up. He's real strong. He goes to the gym too much.
Brendan's dog can now drive him. You called all over Scott. You made a wisecrack to me. Do you ever want to come back on this show again?
Yeah.
What time do we have, Mr. Brett?
7:30.
Okay.
So we're gonna have Steve Brett on. You know Steve Brett?
No clue.
Right, so he'll be happy.
Come on, really? No clue?
No clue who he is.
Track promoter and general manager at Dominion.
Is he really?
He'll be happy you got his
now
hat
I'm looking
on.
at him. Yeah, I do see him. Yeah, I do know who he is now.
And you said you're wearing his hat.
I had no clue. I just got the hat in Victor Lane and I just started wearing it.
Okay. Next time you get one in Victor Lane, you need to save one for me and Scott. You know.
I got two.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Because basically Scott, because he needs to cut the glare down.
Who cut your hair today?
My grandmother.
Well, let's see how it looks.
I'm good. It's a little too short for my liking.
A little too short.
It's a little too short.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Look, you better savor it while you can.
I'm hoping not to have as bad
I
as hair.
don't know about your dad. How's your dad's hair? Has he got any?
He's got good
He's
hair.
all right. You might be all right.
Should be fine.
You don't want to look like Scott.
No, I don't.
I played him right into that one. That was pretty good. I like that. But I mean,
some clippers.
But you're making a lot of. You can tell you're becoming a big name race car driver now.
Mm-hmm.
because you're making a lot of changes. You know, nice. Because I remember your hair looked, it's kind of.
Yeah,
weird.
I'm glad I got rid of that.
Yeah.
I thought it
But
was fun.
you didn't think so at
I
first?
thought it was good at the time, but then I got it cut shorter and let it grow out probably a couple weeks, and then it got where I liked it. And then it got cut too much again. Yeah.
But now you done cut your hair, getting all slicked up and everything. Like I used to say back in the day, getting all slicked up, and now you done went and got you some contact lenses, and then go out and win the first race after you get your contact lenses. And all the women were hanging out in Victory Lane with you.
So the problem with
and didn't smile one time.
I don't smile in pictures. I'm not a very pretty smiler.
You even smile tonight.
A pretty smiler.
But when I got my contacts before the race, my contact was over here in my eye, so I'm rubbing it and everything. And my mom looks at me and goes, "You okay?" I go, "Contact slipped over, but I got it back in place." Didn't have it back in place. This eye was blind. This eye was fine. So I was racing blind in an eye.
And still won.
Still won.
Scott can race blind with both eyes. He can't get it. He couldn't have a shot at anything. You might want to give him your glasses to let him race next time.
All right.
I am getting to the point I'm gonna have to get some readers because my arm's still long enough, so I ain't quite there, but I'm getting there.
That's what happens when you get old.
What?
The eyesight goes. Look at his eyesight's going.
I got it young. My grandfather got it at like 52. I got it young, which it don't help my dad's blind as a bat.
Oh, you done threw him under again.
I get my bad eyesight from my dad.
Uh-oh. There's Brendan Queen's on here now. Yeah, you're in trouble.
We taught him valuable lessons. What kind of lessons have you learned from Brendan?
Not good stuff. Not good stuff.
Now,
Brendan, you missed it because he was talking trash about you earlier.
I was.
Reiterate now, who can drive the car better than Brendan?
Brendan Hoosier can drive the car better than you.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be coming back in a minute.
Don't worry. Next year he'll be smiling when all them girls come to Victory Lane.
He had the shot. He just didn't. He could have moved Peyton, but he didn't.
All right, let's go ahead and get Steve Britt on here real quick and talk with him for a little bit and introduce him to Riley.
Yeah, we'll make sure that Riley knows who he is. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Riley. I love that hat, buddy. Love it. Love it.
Hey, Steve, I'm trying to figure out how he doesn't know who you are.
Listen, that's a perfect answer because I really do try to stay in the background. So as long as he's wearing the hat, he's my favorite. We're good.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Steve, you have done a wonderful job up there at Dominion Raceway. I want to congratulate you on that because I fell in love with the place when I went up there. It was really cool.
It's a neat spot. There's no question about it. We have a good time, and so no, I love it too. Work really hard at it, no question.
Yeah, and the hospitality you guys have shown me when I've been up there has been really great, and I really enjoy being around the folks up there. But what are some of the things you got planned for the rest of the year, and how bad has COVID messed you guys up?
Well, COVID. Oh my God, my favorite subject, COVID. COVID is devastating to us. We aren't just a motorsports venue, as you know. We do concerts and all kinds of corporate events. And man, we starting the season, we had about 300 events already booked. You could have called us up and said, "Hey, have you got a spot for my event?" We would say, "Sure," in October. And I mean, that sounds egotistical. It's just the truth. We were doing really, really well. And then, as soon as we hit COVID, the cancellations started to come in. So it's a shame. I mean, this isn't the opinion of Dominion Raceway, but it's my opinion. I think our governments have done a terrible job with this. They watched the Chinese and watched, Wuhan be closed, and then they just decided they would follow suit and, shut the country down and, left a lot of the business owners just hanging on a cliff. And then they picked favorites, right? I mean, if you were an essential business, you were a winner. If you were a non-essential business, you were a loser. most of the entertainment, vacation, hotel, airlines, on and on and on were losers. And even to this day, I think there's a lot of inequity in what's happening. Virginia created a marketing slogan called "Safer at Home." So, I mean, their whole goal was and continues to be to keep the businesses shut down. And, I think, we're having to deal with some of that pressure as well. So I just think that when the dust clears and the historians look back at COVID, they will not give us very high marks. Certainly there is a pandemic. I don't deny that, but we weren't prepared for it. We panicked. We made a lot of bad decisions, and it's going to take a long time to come out of it. I mean, it just is the way it is, and it's sad. So I worry about motorsports, what it's going to look like when this will end. Some people say it'll end at the election. Some people, I don't buy into that. I just don't think the country is that sinister. I mean, I think we got it here until summer next year before there's a vaccine and people are comfortable. And, the impacts have been tremendous. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you everything was great. It's not. It has been very, very painful to deal with it. And I feel like, the country just didn't handle it as well as they could have. And I'm sure if we ever go through this again, they won't do it this way. Certainly some people had to learn that this wasn't, the right thing to do. You don't shut the United States down and think that it's going to all be rosy. It's just not going to be. So we've got a lot of pain, I think, still to go through. I think motorsports has got some real headwinds and some challenges now. If you're in the retail market, you're devastated. If you're in the restaurant business, you're devastated. I mean, it is what it is. It's not good. So that's how I feel about COVID. So anyway, we did the best we could. The goal from the very beginning here was to try to open our facility as we could and to try to have our events be as normal as possible. Just literally try to make them so people aren't feeling the COVID pressure. They don't feel strange when they come in. And so, we did a good job in that area. I think we get pretty high marks for our COVID response and what we've been able to do. And so, anyway, so on the upside, we announced our big one, which we're going to have here in mid-October. I think we've done a good job putting that together. We're not trying to start every late model in town on race day. We're going to select 24 plus a couple track provisionals and a fan favorite, which I think will be cool. So, max 27. 24, yeah, 27, probably more likely 25, 26. I mean, we're not going to select the track provisional unless we have some inequity somewhere and we need to fix it. And, we'll run a race Saturday night, pretty standard race, pay kind of a standard purse, have our support divisions, and then 24 cars coming out of that race will enter Sundays, and then we'll do a Virginia racer behind it. So Sunday will be almost all late models. So I think that's going to be a fun event. Was notified today by Motor Week that they're going to come and race with us in our IndyCar race on September 12th. So trying to get all of that approved. So that'll be a national recording of that race and working with NASCAR to get that all approved. And so that could be kind of fun. And, I think we've got a fair amount of racing still left to do. We're here every weekend. We don't run necessarily every division every weekend, but we're here every weekend. And so we're looking forward to it. I got to tell you, I get really excited. The racing here has been fantastic this year. Obviously, we've benefited from some of the other tracks closing. We've gotten, a higher car count because of that. And so the racing here has been fantastic. And, I guess that's kind of where we are. We're still running other events too.
Steve, one of the things, for people who've not been to Dominion and not been around the track or been up there to the track, let everybody know what all you have going on at the racetrack. I mean, you've got a road course, you've got the oval, you've got the restaurant, you got everything there. I mean, just let everybody know what's going on there.
Well, I mean, you don't see a lot of new tracks anymore, and that's because the finances for tracks are tough. How do you pay millions of dollars for improvements and you build a nice facility and buy some nice land, and then you're trying to pay for that, with selling tickets, and the tickets are $20 or less typically. So you've got to do a ton of different events and a bunch of events to make the math work. And that was kind of the goal going in. We knew if we were going to be successful, we had to capture lots of events and try to do them as successfully as we can and have a pretty diverse offering because your race fans, God love them. I'm one of them. Come and you get that race fan. Some you get every week, but the large majority you don't. Maybe they hit your racetrack 2 or 3 or 4 times a year. It's not going to pay the bills. I mean, you can still hopefully get some new people in and, kind of get a running attendance, if you would, but it's not enough. And so you've got to have, the road course, and you've got to have a building that can do parties, and, you've got to have a restaurant and a bar. You just got to have it. I mean, I think, again, we were poised to have a really great year this year. I guess that's the hardest thing this has been, is just kind of watching that kind of go away. And, I think this model works. It doesn't work well with COVID. I think COVID in some respects actually is harder when you've got a facility that's trying to capture lots of events. Our concert calendar, every time we turn around, we've been booking shows because Live Nation's closed and Wolf Trap is closed and Innsbruck is closed. Everybody's closed, and that's when the opportunity presents itself. So we've been booking artists, but every time you turn around, that artist doesn't want to come. Maybe they lost another date at another venue. Maybe they're worried about COVID. Maybe something else happened. And so, we kind of keep shuffling our schedule around. And I think the people that want to come here and watch music venues and concerts and things are probably, a little leery about a ticket just because we kind of keep shuffling the schedule. And so I think there's an opportunity for us there. We've got some pretty big shows contracted. We have this Upchurch show, and we've got a Christian concert that's pretty big with 3 big artists. And so we haven't shied away from booking some things and taking some risk because nobody else is doing it. And there's an opportunity if you do it well. I know our Christian show, we're going to do it as a drive-in.
That's cool.
People be comfortable. I think that will be cool. And so, I mean, that's kind of what's going on. I don't want to say it's day by day, but there's not a big runway to, be working with at this point. We were talking today about what do we do off season. This facility is really built for, 12 months out of the year. I mean, it's air conditioned, it's heated. There's not a area that we have to necessarily shut down for winter. So unlike my old track, I mean, this one here is designed to run constantly and all year long, yet, you're not going to be booking a whole lot of corporate events in the off season here, and you're not going to be racing off season. And so, what are we going to do from November to February? I don't have a really great answer. I mean, we're working on it, but I don't really have a great answer. So a lot of challenges. I mean, just being honest about it. So I want to say one quick thing about our staff. I think unlike a lot of the racetracks of this kind of size, if you would, at our level, they don't really have, as many full-time people. I mean, we've got a bunch of full-time people here, and they're fabulous. I mean, they are just absolutely the best of the best. And we'd be in trouble without them. And so we're a pretty creative group, and hopefully we can, figure out a way to get some events over the off season. And if not, we'll figure out a way to get through it. But, that's how we survive, running great events and getting people to come and enjoy it with us. And that's how we operate.
So, Steve, let me ask you, how do we get, and I ask most kind of promoters this, how do we get new fans into the sport? And how do we get these young kids like this coming through the sport?
Well, you need Rileys. I mean, you need a lot of Rileys. I wish there were a lot more Rileys. And we'll all put them in hats, okay? I'll donate all the hats to all the Rileys that want to come in. There'll be Dominion Raceway hats. I love that hat, Riley. I'm telling you, made my night. When I turned on the thing, I'm looking at the hat. I'm going, I love that kid. I just love him. But yeah, you got to attract young kids. It's tough. The sport is got a lot of tough things to deal with. I think we need to look at better technology for our cars. I mean, it's crazy when you think about running a late model with a carburetor. I mean, it's crazy. There's you can hook up a computer to it, but you can't really adjust anything, and it's still pretty much old tech. And so I think we need to upgrade some of our cars to make them more interesting for young people that want to enjoy the technological part of racing, and certainly at the upper level they have it. We don't have it here, so I think that's part of it. Um, I think the other thing too is just getting the parents to support their kids and bring them out to the racetrack. One of the things that we found, and I've been at this now for a long time, but children in racing tend to be great kids later on. They don't get into trouble. They have this interaction with adults at a very young age, so they get they're very respectful, and they interact well, communicate well with children. My wife and I say all the time that the best thing we ever got out of Old Dominion Speedway is the exposure of our children to the race teams there. I mean, they're both great kids, and it wasn't because their parents did that much. We didn't do very much. I mean, it was just their exposure and being in that racing community. And we can fight on a Saturday, but I still say this: we all care deeply about each other. We're all in it, and we all, you've seen it. That they'll fight and then help lend a motor the next weekend. I mean, it's crazy. It's a human element in our sport that is understated and not understood unless you're in the sport, and then you know how important it is. So I think getting the kids involved is great. It's expensive to do it. It's a real commitment from the families. I think from a track perspective, we need to highlight that interest and support that interest, and take people like Riley and just let them know how important they are to the future of the sport. And I've got a lot of views. I won't share them on your show. I don't want to be negative, but I've got a lot of views on the future of motorsports. It's a tough road to hoe. It's not NASCAR. It's motorsports in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, we've got a long way to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But certainly having young people is a very important part of keeping it alive, no question.
Yeah, I mean, I always ask everybody a question because it is important to try to get and we have to get the next generations coming into the sport.
Right.
But statistically, our demographic is generally an older group,
Right. Right. I mean, I'm not seeing that change very much. I mean, if Jack's been here, so Jack can see some of the things that we've done to try to entertain. The place is pretty well Wi-Fi. You got a big screen. You can send your picture in the stands, or you can communicate a message and it'll get displayed immediately on the big screen. We try to do a lot of interaction there as a tool to, the facility is designed so you can move around, not just stuck in a seat. You can move and get up and do all kinds of things. And a lot of that was really looking at, the millennial age. And I know we're past that now, but I mean, just having a place where people would come and mill about, socialize if they want to, sit in the grandstands and watch a race if they want to, get on their computer or their tablet if they want to, those types of things. And,
It's a great facility all the way around. I
Yeah.
mean, being that I love Langley Speedway so much, but when I came to Dominion, I kind of fell in love with Dominion because it's the type of place that, it really interacts well with all the people that show up to come to a race. All the people I talked to in the pit area that day, the days I've come up there, they're all very hospitable and talk real nice about everything. It's a great place to go, and I love every minute of it.
Well, Jack, you guys are welcome anytime, and it's taken a while. It wasn't like that initially. I remember at Old Dominion Speedway when Dickie Gore sold me the track, and he was talking to people about, what will he remember? And it was always, his answer was always great. It was, I will always remember the people. And so when we came here, there was some confusion with the old regime, if you would, on what they were really supposed to be doing. And then we had the newbies coming in, and I would say we spent a better part of 2 or 3 years really without any real social cohesiveness. But when you get here today, there's a heartbeat to this place. It's undeniable, and it is better than it was at Old Dominion Speedway. And I always thought Old Dominion had that in spades. It is unbelievable. The people here are fabulous, and they have a good time here. And it's not the track against them anymore. This is their track, and we want them to have a voice in it. We want them to take ownership of it. I think for the most part they do now. And I won't give any names, but we have a couple of people that really used to not cooperate or be supportive, and they are not like that anymore. They understand that they play an important role for people coming in and new teams coming in. We want them to feel welcome. We want them to have a good time. You know, it's a place where you should come and enjoy others and enjoy the sport. And we got that. I mean, we really have that working well here. And so I hope that continues. And a lot of that, quite honestly, is me staying in the background and letting them race and do the things that they want to do. And, you know, being available to talk if need be, or if they have a suggestion, really, you know, listening to it and trying to implement it if it makes sense for the facility. And so I'm really proud of that part of it. You know, I'm not a racer. I'm really a business guy that loves motorsports. And so for me, those types of things are the most important things that we can have here at Dominion, is just having a great group of people. And so I'm proud of it. Now, I'll take some credit for it, because I think we've given the facility a place for those people to feel like they belong and they are part of it. So I like
you definitely have done that. I'll give you that. You've done
I
that.
mean, I think Dominion's the future kind of. I mean, you're kind of making a model of what the future of short track racing is going to have to become to survive.
I agree. I mean, it's a tough road.
Yeah.
Any racetrack, anybody will tell you, and I don't care at what level it is, running racetracks are tough. They're capital intensive. They require a ton of upkeep. This place, I mean, you know, we complained for several years we couldn't get the grass to grow. I mean, that was always a joke. We cannot get grass to grow here. And now the grass is growing like crazy. I literally come in the morning, work till about noon, and then I go out and I cut grass. I've been doing that now for a week in between the rain. And the second it's cut, you got to turn back around and cut it again. I mean, it's crazy. So there's a lot to owning and running a racetrack. You have to love it. It'd make no sense to do it if you didn't love it and love the people. And so that's why we're here. My family is all involved. We're here 7 days a week. Now, I don't come every day anymore. I usually take Sundays off. But my son is here 7 days a week, and you know, we give up a lot to be here and be part of this. And you know, the best day for us, quite honestly, is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the people are coming in and we're doing things, and it's fun. It makes it worth it. It really does. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. I know
Yeah.
you're a busy person, got a lot going on. Thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting me up and letting me be a part of that up there. And hopefully I'll be back up there again real soon.
Well, bring Scott next time. We'll show him a good time. And listen, your show's great, and I love all the support you're getting from your sponsors and stuff. It's a wonderful thing. We appreciate the exposure and being part of your show. And just thank you for including us, and we'll hope to see you soon.
All right, we'll see you
Thank
soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Give Steffi a hard time and just tell him it's from me.
I talk to Steffi like 2 or 3 times a day, believe me. Steffi's a good guy. Steffi's really good people. And we've gotten to be very close. We're great friends. So I will tell him, okay?
All right, Steve, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Riley. Love that hat, baby. It's great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You didn't even plan that. That's funny.
What's even more fun is that he didn't know who he was talking.
No, I had no clue.
When you've been up with Dominion?
I've only seen them one time, and that was when they did the test day for the bandos to set up a wool package. I seen them that time, and then I don't remember ever seeing them again.
Okay.
I never really met them, so.
Well, now you know.
That's a pretty cool deal. I mean, you know, it's opportunity to get to know the man that up there at Dominion. Who was on there a minute ago?
Well, it's Katie, but she either turned her camera off or
there she is. Now this is
look. Now don't start smiling now because there's a girl on there.
Isn't right.
Yeah. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, look, all this good news you got going on. I mean, that's got to be a big deal for you.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what all you got going on. I know you're going to be over at GMS. What kind of things are they going to have you doing?
So I just got we just found out that I'm now part of the GMS driver development. So at the beginning of October, we're gonna go back down to North Carolina since we live in Michigan. So we're gonna drive back down there, and we'll probably maybe practice session at Hickory. But due to COVID, they usually have some like meeting kind of thing where you go to like the shop and see everything, but they're not allowed to do that. So I guess everything is depending on COVID to see what happens. But we're probably going to go down there and do some practice sessions with them and meet some new people.
Now, you say you live in Michigan, or is it a plan of yours? I mean, I know you're kind of young right now, but is it a plan of yours to maybe going to the Charlotte area and getting involved in the racing there?
Yeah, usually, because there's a whole bunch of other drivers like Haley Deegan. She's not in GMS, but we've been watching a whole lot of other drivers where they'd live in one state, and then once they got like GMS or something like that, then they'd go and they'd live in that state. So probably maybe like later, because I'm still in middle school, and I still have a little sibling and a brother and my mom and dad. So we'll probably just drive down there a lot because I get out of school a lot anyways to practice for the track and everything. So everyone knows I do racing. So when I'm gone, it's like, oh, she's probably at the track. So we'll probably drive down there mostly, do a lot of driving, but maybe one point like after high school or something, we might move down there.
Well, that's cool. Now, a lot of people probably don't know who Katie Hettinger is. Tell us who she is and how she got started in racing and how she got to where she is today.
So I started racing when I was 5 years old. I started in quarter midget. And I started racing because my grandpa, Jim Hettinger, raced. He raced midgets. And my dad also raced. He raced at Spartan Speedway, Corganole Speedway, which is down here in Michigan. He raced modifieds there. So he raced for a long time. And then he stopped racing so I could start racing. So I started in quarter midgets for about 6 years. And then we moved to dirt, and I raced a junior sprint and a restricted micro 600. I raced that for about 2 years. And then last year, we moved to the junior late models. My dad started the Victor Custom Trailer CRA Junior Late Model Series because I was at that age, and we were at the point where there really wasn't anything I could move up with. The dirt wasn't helping me go anywhere. And then like all the other classes for late models, I was only like 11, so I wasn't old enough to go race any of those. So we started the junior late model series. So this would be my second year running in that. And we don't really have too many plans for the 2020 season. We don't really know what we're going to do next season since obviously due to COVID, but also we're just trying to figure everything out.
I mean, you got plenty. Now, how old are you?
I'm 13.
You're getting old. You might want to hurry up and get going because you're getting a little age on you now. But look, how many wins have you gotten in your career?
I raced quarter midgets for a while. So I probably had pretty much over 40 wins in quarter midgets. For dirt, I got rookie of the year. I think I had 3 second places at Jackson Speedway, which is down here in Michigan. And then I think I had 1 first place at US 24. And then I didn't win. I got 4th in points my first year in the junior late models, and I won my first race this season at the Speedrome, Indiana, and that was the second race of this.
Well, I tell you what, 13 years old and I got all them wins. This is Scott right here. He's about 60, and he ain't got but like 2.
That's all right. Riley, you're out now. We got a better driver here now.
No.
How did it come about that you got hooked up with GMS?
Well, my dad, he owns the business Victor Custom Trailers, so he sells a lot of trailers for people at the track. And there was a guy named Jocelyn, who used to be like the driver for GMS, and so he was close with Mike Beam. And so Jocelyn started talking to my dad, and then GMS sent him out to watch my first race at Anderson, which I placed 3rd in. So he would come to the shop, come to the races, call dad, and we'd talk. And then it was kind of after the first race, it was kind of a little while when we didn't hear like anything, and we were like, well, like what's happening? Do we do good? Do we like not show them what we needed? But then about 2 weeks, I think, a couple weeks before my second race at Speedrome, my dad called us. We were just sitting around watching TV on a Sunday, and my dad called us and said, so we have to go to North Carolina next week, because he had heard that we got into the GMS driver development. So that next week, me, my mom, and my dad, we drove to North Carolina, and we went down, and my dad's cousin lives down there, and he works for some NASCAR teams too. So we stayed with him. So we got to go look at all the shops and meet some sponsors.
Oh, so you got a pretty good deal there with what all you got going on now. Have you got a list of sponsors you'd like to thank and talk about?
Yeah. So my dad's business, Victory Custom Trailers, they sell race trailers, basically any trailer you need. You can also customize trailers for them. And then I have PXP Race Underwear. They make my fireproof race underwear that I wear under my suit, which is amazing. Terry, we always work with her. She's super nice. We've been working with her since quarter midgets. So she like knows my sizes, and she knows whenever I go with my dad's like, I don't know what to get. You just size her. So she's really nice. And then I have Turn One. So they do my power steering, Turn One steering. And I have HD5 graphics. So they did my graphics. And then Van Doren Racing Development, Johnny Van Doren, we were actually working with him this year, and he does my chassis, and then Intech Trailers, and obviously GMS Driver Development.
Wow, you got a pretty good list there. Now, don't forget mom and dad too.
Yeah, and then obviously my mom and dad.
So,
now, did you take any notes on this? How good she's doing?
Yes.
Now, do you drive your own cars, right? Or you're driving for somebody else?
No, we own our cars. We own the junior late model, and then we also have a template late model that we're trying to figure out some tracks to race at for that, because all the tracks keep closing due to COVID. So we're trying to figure out something to race for that.
Oh,
Now, does Dad make you work on the cars?
Sometimes I'll go to his shop, because I have my school started up now. So sometimes I'd go to his shop and I'd work with Bobby, who also helps on the cars. And we'd go there, and my whole family, we always go there together, and we'd go and we'd work on the cars. My brother would bring me the tires, and my job at the track is to change the gear. That's like my favorite thing about, I don't know why, but I just love changing the gear. Whenever they get the gears out, I'm like, oh, can I change it? Can I change it?
Oh, hey, that's pretty cool that you can do that. So, now, do you have to keep your grades up and everything to be able to race?
Yeah, so for report cards, if I get anything below, if I have a C or below on the report cards, then I like have to take racing off. So, but I'm pretty good at keeping my grades up and staying on top of my schoolwork.
I was gonna say, have you been close?
I think I've gotten like a B- the week ended, but then like I did a whole bunch of extra credit. So,
you know, one thing I'm seeing by talking to these young kids that we talk to, a race car driver has turned out to be pretty smart because they keep good grades. And you and I, when we were racing, I raced before you did, but racing
years before I did.
But the thing about it is, look at it. We didn't have to worry about grades, because if we waited on grades, we'd never race. But anyway, well, Katie, we appreciate you being with us, and thank you for being on tonight. I know you got a lot going on, and congratulations on the GMS thing, and hopefully we'll see you down this way sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, she's 13 years old. Look at all them things she's been into. And everything.
She's already a development driver for GMS. See, you can do it. You just.
What scared me was when she told me she had the underwear salesman in there and everything. I was thinking that'd be perfect for Riley.
You notice how quiet he got when the girl got on?
I know he got real quiet. He did smile a couple times. I was watching him. I was watching. it was pretty. We're supposed to have the other GMS development driver coming on, Ashton Higgins. I don't see him up here yet, but anyway, he's supposed to be on. So,
Wish I could be a development driver.
well, you got to keep working hard.
I've been working
I
hard.
know you got to keep working hard. I mean,
It takes a while.
So how old are you?
12.
You're 12. Well,
See, she's a
She's a year older than you.
Yeah.
So but you got plenty of time, but you are getting old, and they might have to pull that cane out for long for you.
I had to walk with the cane there. In 2018, I had to get surgery on my leg, and it was hard to walk on my right leg.
I'd love to see that picture of that.
Yeah, I was walking around the race shop with Brendan Queen with a cane. They joke
He
on
didn't
me.
trip you, did he?
He tried, but
You
he
hit him with the cane.
should have. I regret not doing it.
Thank you, Jesse.
We appreciate it because we want to keep up with these younger kids and what racing's all about. That's what we're trying to do. And
Other younger kids, not this one.
You're not no young kid either.
No.
You're 50 years old?
No.
yeah, he's 50.
Where's that? I should have got a bigger piece of duct tape, long enough I'd go all the way around. He couldn't get it off.
Don't worry, Brendan's tried that. I figured out how to get out of duct tape.
Now, didn't they tape you up one time, or what was that? When y'all went to was it Martinsville?
I never got into the pits at Martinsville.
No.
Myrtle Beach, probably.
No, they put my underwear and my shoes in the freezer. First year I went, they put my right foot shoe in the freezer and left it there overnight, and then they hung my other one from the chandelier.
Why you let them do you like that?
I was asleep, and I was walking
You
around.
can't. You can't be the first one to go to sleep.
Saturday morning, race day, walking around. We had a breakfast buffet scheduled for that morning. Walking around, hobbling on one leg because it's froze on the foot. And then I caught him early enough when I seen my bag was tampered with. I caught him early enough to get my underwear out the freezer.
I bet that was a fun trip. You had to.
Well, it was 2 different years, but they always picked on me.
Why did they
you
do
play
that?
jokes on them?
I can't. They're that much smaller. I've been sat on. I've had nipple twisters. I've had everything in that shop and on them trips. I've been bullied. I get bullied.
Now I'm gonna ask you a big question here. Does Grandpa get in on some of that stuff too?
Now he mostly sits in his room, sits in his hotel room and watches TV. Bad thing is, we get like a little twin bed and we have to share the bed.
Who?
Me and my grandfather.
Oh,
And I'm a kicker, so it's not very pleasant for him.
I guess it's not very pleasant. You kick. I can see you kicking Phil Warren now. That's pretty cool. But I mean, he gets a room like that, and you have to share with him. But
No.
yeah, but he don't help you out when you're out running around. Now, where's Mom and Dad when all this is going on?
Back in Norfolk, Virginia. Well,
So they don't know what you're up to. They don't know.
I'm down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
And they don't even know what's going on. How bad people are treating you or
I
anything.
know.
Do you call up and complain?
No.
That'll just make it worse, huh?
Yeah.
But you see, you got to think of something good and crank him back somehow.
I'm not that big of a thinker.
Come on now.
So I don't know what to
Your
do.
mouth's big enough. I can help this. I like practical jokes.
So what else have they done anything else to you?
Mm,
I mean, that's a pretty big deal when they put your underwear and everything in the freezer. I mean,
trying to think.
what did Grandpa say when you told him they put the underwear in there?
He laughed.
You get no help, huh?
No.
Look, Jack's son put a fake snake on his truck one time. He chopped it up, thought it was a real snake.
I hate snakes.
Yeah, me too.
Can't stand them.
I was going out of the house at midnight, going to work, and there was this snake by my truck. and I was about to step on him. And I said, this is not going to happen no time soon. So I went and got me a shovel, and I chopped that thing up in about 100 pieces and threw it in the woods.
I can't stand snakes.
And come to find out the next day when I got home, my son come out the door and said, where's the snake? I said, it's over there in the woods. I done chopped it up. He said it was plastic. So us little kids, we get picked on a lot.
You're big and tall, so you're not that little.
Well,
Maybe Scott's a little.
And mine, he's smart.
A lot smarter than you.
See what they did to Scott? They rubbed his hair off. Anyway, I thought we would.
I guess they ain't coming.
I guess not. Anyway, well, we were glad to have the driver of the week from last week with us, Riley Music. When we racing again?
This weekend.
This weekend.
Yep, here at Larry Hall's on the Speedway.
So what's the rest of the year schedule look like?
Dominion in here, really. Because Southside's not opening up. Maybe Wake County, but they're still trying to open up. And then end off the whole season, we're going to go to Southern National for the Thanksgiving Classic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if they're allowed.
Yeah.
That's why I ain't thought about that. That's true. North Carolina's really having a hard time with that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And there ain't no Myrtle Beach race anymore. So
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
I love going to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Sit in the hot tub the night before for like 2 hours.
See, that's when they
All right,
put
wait a
the
minute
stuff
now.
in the freezer.
all right, what were you doing in the hot tub?
Nothing, just
Who's in the hot tub with you?
Brendan Queen and Colby Vance.
I wouldn't have said that out loud.
you could have said, yeah, I had some girls.
I wouldn't
You
have
could have
said
made,
that out
you could have
loud.
made anything up.
That's really not the thing you really want to publicize. That you were in a hot tub with two other guys, and especially Brendan Queen and Colby Vance.
Although you could just start joking, say they touched you inappropriately.
Yeah. Yeah, but the place we stayed at had an indoor pool, and we played hide and seek in the indoor pool because it was like a lazy river.
I got another question. You had Colby Vance and Brendan Queen playing hide and seek.
Colby's a good sized boy. I mean, he can't hide real easy.
No, he had to hide behind a pole. A pole about that wide.
Man, these trips are gotta be something else. I'm gonna have to find out about one of these trips and follow you down there and see what's going on. So what? I don't know how to question this one. Then. What were you doing when you were in the hot tub with those folks?
Listening to music. Oh, then they tricked me into thinking this pool was heated. This pool's ice cold in the middle of November. I leaped in that and started swimming as quick as I could. And then they go, no, you got to stay in there. It gets heated after a minute. Jumped back in, stayed in there, about had frostbite. 2 years in a row.
What that look like?
You fell for it again?
Yes.
I thought you were a little smarter than this.
I thought so too. As my grandfather says, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Your grandfather says this about you?
No. He says that about some people. I may say that about Scott a couple times.
Well, I agree with you on that, but who's your grandfather say that? He ain't talking about your mom, is
No, you don't.
I know one person he don't say it about is Miss Barber.
No. No.
So that pretty much makes it Anthony.
Sometimes. Says about Brendan.
Well, everybody knows.
He may say that about my father a couple times. Which, unbelievably, my mom went to college and my dad didn't. And my dad could somehow figure some equations out better than my mom.
Well, if your mom can't do your math, I guess so.
She had a hard time with English, too.
With English.
Language arts.
Ooh. She can't, so that was her foreign language in school, English?
Yeah, probably.
I'm not even going to turn around and looking back behind me because I know there's somebody back there looking. So I'm not going to do that.
It's a long walk back to Norfolk.
Let's see. How many hours would that be?
I don't know.
Don't worry, I'll give you a ride. I'll give you a ride home. I feel sorry for you. They all pick on you.
I know.
Your mama can't do your math.
I know.
And your dad, and your grandfather says your dad's not the sharpest tool in the shed. And there's all kinds of stuff going on with you guys.
No, one problem is we bought them 2 little dogs, and all they do is mess up my room. All they do.
Well, they take precedence over you, though.
She got them dogs, and they terrorize me. Terrorize. So I spend 12 hours in my simulator, my iRacing simulator.
Oh, that's the reason.
Gives me another excuse to iRace.
Eddie Clark says he wants to see Jack play hide and seek. That would be pretty funny, too. Wouldn't it?
I ain't played hide and seek in a long time, and I sure am glad you told me Colby Vance and Brendan did. They're going to hear about that again.
Brendan's not the slimmest guy.
Well, he's not the slimmest guy.
No.
Also, ever what you said, he's not the smartest either. So.
He isn't. Luckily, he's not in here to see that I'm joking on him.
Yeah, he had to go back to class. I saw where he said he had to go back to class.
Yeah. He's probably getting his mom to cut his food right now, too.
I got many friends.
It might be your whole soup might end up in the freezer.
Or in the hot tub.
Yeah, I just had to throw away my championship suit. Upsetting. I was going to hang that up in my room.
Throw it away?
Yeah, they made me throw it away.
Why did they make you throw it away? Because it stunk?
No, because I couldn't fit it anymore. I grew out wider. Which is,
your mom and dad could have bought one of them things and put it inside the glass and hang it up, 'Cause you may be a NASCAR superstar someday.
Maybe.
We sit around here and talk to you, and then Scott's got his cane and walking around with his hearing aids and everything, and he'll look at the NASCAR races and he'll say, I talked to him one time. I know him.
His real name's Little Shit.
Like we knew Kaz Gralla before he became big. And we had to get him out of class one day to do the show with him.
Yeah. Driving school.
Yeah, driving school. He was in driving school.
He was in driving class.
Last race I ran here, I joked the heck out of Scott. Didn't I?
You're always joking.
So we're rolling out the track, and we see Scott just standing there. I go, hold on, Mom. Stop. I got a joke on this guy.
So what'd you do to him?
Joked on him.
What was I doing though?
You're just standing there because I think your truck broke.
No, I started my truck up and shut the door, and it
Oh,
locked.
yeah, you locked yourself out. I've had that problem before. I've done it to my grandfather.
You lock his keys in the car?
It was a bad day.
Yeah, I can bet that's the reason why he
Well, there was 3 things that went bad that day.
Uh-oh.
We're riding back from work in his golden HHR, and his blower motor's been making noise for weeks. I said, what happened if I kicked it? He goes, I don't know, try it. I kicked it a couple times, quit. And then there's one time I kicked it good. Thing fell out on my foot a minute later and started spinning like crazy. Scared the crap out of us.
Do you and your grandfather y'all get in a lot of trouble, don't you?
No. Yeah. I will say, though, people don't agree with me. He's one of the best teachers I've ever learned from. And it may not be the greatest stuff to learn, but I've learned some good stuff from him.
Have you, my grandfather taught me a lot of stuff that, mamas don't want to know about.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
You want to tell us something?
Not on camera.
Okay, well, last time you were here, your mom said never mind.
No, don't talk about that. I don't want to risk sponsors over it. We don't have to go there.
We don't?
No, as much as I joke on Scott, we don't have to go there.
Okay. I'll let you go because you like me better than Scott. Anyway, well, I guess we're not going to get Ashton Higgins on here. I don't know what happened to him, but anyway, we'll try to set him up again. Next week, I just found out a few minutes ago, we'll probably have the owner of GAC on the show with us next week by video chat. So that'll be cool to have him, one of our sponsors.
New sponsor.
So he wants to, maybe he'll come on and be with us next week, see if he can work it out. So right now, that's the only thing I got going on for next week. Riley's going to be racing at Langley this weekend. You don't have to worry about Scott being here or not racing because he's not going to be racing this weekend.
No.
He's upset. I can't joke on him.
I know. And I won't be here because I'll be at Kingsport.
Presenting driver of the month.
Yeah. So when you get driver of the month, which you're now eligible for, so you get driver of the month, I'll come down there and present it to you in front of everybody.
Oh.
Scott won't go with me when I do it. He just won't.
I'll probably walk over and just drop it before I get
Scott won't go with me because he didn't go to Dominion when I did it up there. But you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
If he ever gets it. We'll just put it in the freezer when he gets it. He'll be like, why is it cold?
So hot it might thaw.
And hey,
Quickly.
we're gonna give Brendan a steak at the end of the year,
I hope.
and we're gonna get a steak and we're gonna set it right here, and we're gonna put a knife and a fork beside it. And we say, Riley said, "Cook, can you chop it up for us?"
I want to see that. That would be an entertaining show to try and see if you can cut it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll even have you come back and be here when he does it.
All right. That sounds good.
Okay. You have to talk to mom and dad and make sure you just keep popping the car and come over here. Anyway, that's our show for tonight. Thanks to everybody being with us. My hero, Riley Music. Appreciate him being here. Good to talk with Steve Britt from Dominion, even though Riley didn't know who he was. Done one races up there.
Yeah.
You know who Mark Potter is?
He's the announcer.
The guy that interviewed you.
I don't know his name. He might interview me, but I don't know his name, Mom.
Mark Potter. You don't know Mark Potter?
No. Mm-mm.
Do you know anybody at Dominion?
No. Only the what's it called? What Shane Halls does. Chris Steffi.
Mm-hmm. Did you know the flag man?
I don't know the flagman here.
Okay. We'll let it go at that. Anyway. All right. Thanks for everybody being here. Watch our show. Like it. Save it. Share it. Do whatever you do with it. We appreciate all the likes we can get on the show. And it's always entertaining to have Riley here. So I'm sure this is, he's going to become a big NASCAR fan. And he's already won more races this year than Scott has in his career.
For sure.
So anyway. All right. Thank you.
All right,
We'll see you
thanks,
next
guys.
week.